probably get familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'll be doing a story time how my ex-husband cheated on me. So it all started when we were here living with my parents, and he lost his job, and we decided to go to LA to live with my cousin and my aunt because he found a job over there. So after that, he started working, and just for like 1 or 2 days a week, so he couldn't handle that. And he's all like, it's best for us to go move to Mexico. Only had one baby. She was 1.5 years. And I told him, okay, let's try it. Let's go and live in Mexico and see how it goes. So we moved over there. We stayed there like maybe 2 months. But at the beginning, everything was great. He was just like having work once or twice a week. And I started noticing that he changed so much. He was just hanging out there and just being with his friends and not being responsible no more, not caring about me or his little girl. And I was just, I'm like, nah, it's maybe because he couldn't find a job. He just wants to be with his friends, because he will always tell me, it's been many years that I haven't been here and I just want to catch up with my friends. So I was like, okay. So after a while, I didn't get along with his sisters or his mom, and we were living there with them. So one day his sister comes home and she tells me, you know what, we're gonna name him Beto. Okay. So one day she tells me, you know what, Beto is over there in La Plaza with this girl, with this ex-girlfriend, and I think he's cheating on you. But I didn't believe her, because I really thought that, since she didn't like me, she was just making this stuff up. So I asked him when he came home, and he denied everything. He said, no, it's not true. Don't believe what people say. So I believed him. So one day he comes home all mad and started giving me his attitude. So I asked him, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? So the thing, he just tells me, no, I'm already tired, and I don't have a job, and this and that. And so I'm like, okay. So I was like, he's just probably stressing because he doesn't have a job. So one day he told me that he was going to take me out to dinner, and I was waiting for him. He had a soccer game, so it was like at 1, and he was supposed to be home like around 4. So it was already 6 and he was not home. So I looked out the balcony, and I seen his shoes and his socks. He just threw them up there because he didn't want to see me. I guess he didn't want me to see that he was home, and he didn't want to be with me. So I started, noticing different stuff about him. And one day, someone told me that that girl that he was cheating on me with came over to this place where all the guys hang out, the billar, they call it. And she called him. She told this guy to call him, and that's what they told me. And the guy told Beto to come out, and I don't know what she told him. She left on her car, and after that he asked his cousin for the motorcycle, and after that he left. And I was just surprised when they told me. So I was like, a lot of people are telling me, so I think this is kind of true now. So I told his friend, and his friend talked to me too. He was a good friend of mine too. And I told him, you know what, you know, what's going on with Beto? Why is he acting like this? And then he's all like, no, you know, it's not, I don't know, I can't tell you, it's his business, you know, he's my friend. And I told him, well, I'm your friend too, you know, it's not right if I'm here in the middle of nowhere where I'm not from, and I followed him all the way over here, and he's doing this to me. And you know, the sucks part is that I already had a little girl, and I was pregnant with the second baby, and he didn't really care. So his friend told me that, yeah, that girl told Beto to meet him somewhere, and that's when he left on the motorcycle. So one day he came really mad, and he told me that it was over. And I was like, why? He's all like, I don't know, it's just not working out. So I'm like, okay. So I started crying. I cried the whole night, you know, but I'm like, you know what, I'm leaving. Tomorrow I'm out. So I called my mom early in the morning, and I told her what was going on. And she told me, okay, yeah, I'll get you the ticket, and you just call me back like in an hour and a half. I'm gonna tell your dad. I'm like, okay. So after I came home, I started packing my stuff, and he's all like, where are you going? And I'm like, what do you mean, where am I going? You just kicked me out last night. You said everything was over, you know? And he's all like, no, well, but I was probably drunk. I'm like, no, you were not drunk. And I'm leaving. So I packed my stuff, and I called my mom looking out like 2 hours later, and she told me that my dad had bought me the ticket. So we came back to United States, and I started working because I was all on my own, you know, with my little girl that was 1.5 in my second pregnancy. So I had to work. So I started working, and when I was like 4 months pregnant, he calls me telling me that he regret everything he did, that he just wanted to be with his family, you know, stupid stuff like that. And le creí. I believed him. Seriously, I believed him. I'm like, okay, he probably changed. So I brought him over here. I bought his ticket, and we started living together with my mom. We were staying at my mom's house. He started working, and for like 1 or 2 days a week. So he didn't have a stable job. So he called his brother and told him if we could live with him, because his brother had found him a better job Monday through Friday. So we moved like 6 hours away, almost 7 hours away from where my mom lives. So I followed him all the way 7 hours away. So we were all good. We were living great. You know, we'll be back and forth visiting my mom, his brother, and it was great. You know, I thought everything was perfect. And my second pregnancy were twins, so I was happy with that. But then after a while, when my kids were two, my twins were two, I started noticing that he was changing a lot. He wasn't that type of stuff that he was doing back then, ignoring me. You know, I was trying to like hug him, touch him, and he would be like, you know, just get off, you know, stop bugging, deja de chingar. And I'm like, well, you know, what's going on, Beto? Why are you acting like this? And then he's all like, no, you know, deja de estar chingando, just leave me alone. And I'm like, okay. So I thought it was normal. I'm like, he's probably just in a bad mood. But then I started noticing that he will not let go of his phone. He will always have his phone everywhere he went, on the bathroom, everywhere. And so that's when I started noticing, you know, what's going on? Why is he acting like this again? So one time I heard a conversation. I was in the room, and he was in the kitchen with his friend, and I heard that he was talking to his ex-girlfriend, the one that he was talking to when we were in Mexico. So I couldn't believe it. And back then I didn't have a Facebook, so I told my friend if she could help me out and find his Facebook, because one time I told him, you know, my aunt is trying to see pictures of us. You know, she lives in Mexico and she wants to see me and my kids and you. And he started like, no, why? You know, it's not their business. And he started acting up like that. So I'm like, okay, so there's something fishy going around here. So I called my friend up and I told her, do you have a Facebook? You think you can help me out and look for Beto's, you know, information? He's like, yeah. So we looked, and we looked from his first name and his last name. It was not popping out. So we looked on his second last name, and it came out, and it said that he had a relationship with that freaking girl from Mexico. And so I told him, you know, I didn't tell him until like I was holding it in. So I stopped asking him stuff, and like a week later he told me if he could borrow my phone to add someone on Facebook, because he couldn't do it on his phone. So I told him, yeah, of course. I'm like, yeah. But he's so stupid that he forgot to log out. So I started seeing all these messages from that girl. You know, he will call her mi amor. Yes, I'm gonna leave that pendeja, that estúpida. And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was just like in shock. I'm like, you know, he will always call me by my name. And he called her mi amor. I'm like, you know, and it really hurt me, you know, because we had 3 kids now. And when he came home from work, I told him, you know, what's this? And then he's all like, well, you found out. Well, no, it's great that you found out. You know, I wanted to tell you I don't want to be with you anymore. I don't have feelings for you no more. You know, I want to be with her. And that really, really hurt me. You know, because he was the love of my life. He was the dad of my kids. So I cried and I told him, okay, you know, if that's your decision, I can't do nothing about it. So he's like, I'm gonna look for a place. And when I look for a place, I'm gonna leave. So I'm like, okay. So he moved in to the next room, because we had a 2-bedroom apartment and the other room was empty. So he moved in that room. You know, I will cry every day. I couldn't believe that this was happening, you know, because 3 kids. It was just crazy. So one day he comes home from work and he's like, you know what? I found a place. I'm moving out. I'm like, okay. You know, I was just crying and crying, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, this is not real. This is not real. This is not happening. But it came to that weekend that he moved out. So I'm like, you know what? I can't be here. I can't be here having this much memories of him, you know, in this apartment, and having so much memories of him. So I decided to move out, and I moved into a smaller apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment. And you know, the sucks part is that I had my 3 little kids. They were small, and I was all on my own with no family. All my family was 7 hours away. I was like, how am I gonna do it? Because he didn't let me work. He was the one paying everything. I was a stay-home mom. So it was hard. I'm like, how am I gonna do it? I hope I could do it, you know, with 3 kids. I was like, you know, help me, Lord. So I moved in, and thank God I did do it. You know, I didn't pay that much in that apartment, so that really helped. But after, you know, what hurt me was that my kids every night will ask me, when is my dad coming home? Why is he taking forever? How come he doesn't come home? You know, that hurt me so bad. As soon as they went to sleep, I just bust in tears. And I just told him, you know, he's working far away. He'll be back tomorrow. He can't come home today, but tomorrow he will. You know, it's very hard when you have little kids and you can explain to them what's going on. So in that apartment, I met this friend, and she helped me locate. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. You know, I admit it now. You know that when she had a Facebook, and I asked her if she could help me find that stupid idiot that ruined our marriage. And I looked for her, and I told her, you know, I sent her a text, a message on Facebook, and I told her, I can't believe what you did. You know, living 3 little kids without their dad. And you knew he was married. You knew he was with someone, and you didn't care. And she answers, that's the game, bitch. Like, why are girls like that? You know, why having so many men out there and they have to ruin a relationship? You know, they don't understand how bad they hurt people. So after that, that was the last message I sent her. I'm like, you know, there's some really bad girls in this world, but one day they'll pay. So after that, I'm like, it's over. So I closed that, you know, that story, and it was hard, you know, because I loved them so much, and I had three kids. But God helped me. He never let me down, and that's what I love. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys could subscribe to my channel, comment down below, and turn on the notification bell if you want more stories. Thank you for watching. Love you guys.